Darkness clung to me, heavy, suffocating. My eyes wouldn't open. Panic swelled, choking me. I was awake, yet trapped. This wasn't sleep. This was a nightmare I couldn't escape. Around me, voices whispered in fear. Coughs rattled in the shadows. The air reeked of sickness, of sweat, of something faintly metallic. Fear pricked my skin. Where was I? I strained to hear, to understand. The whispers spoke of illness, of pain, of doctors. Doctors with cold, clammy hands and eyes that glowed too brightly in the dark. This place, this dream, held me captive. And something told me it was about to get much worse. The whispers grew louder, filled with a terror that chilled me to the bone. The doctors, they said. They weren't here to help. They were changing. Moans turned to screams as a figure lurched through the darkness. Its white coat was stained crimson, its face a grotesque mask of fangs and fury. It wasn't human anymore. It was something else, something monstrous. The creature, once a healer, now craved only flesh. It lunged for the sick, its claws tearing, its jaws snapping. Those it touched didn't stand a chance. The sick, the injured, they were food for these monsters. And in this nightmare, I was trapped with them. There had to be a way out, a way to wake up. But how? The answer, whispered on the wind of my nightmare, was both terrifying and strangely clear. Save them. Save the sick and injured. For with each life taken, the doctors slipped further into darkness. Each healed soul held the monsters at bay, a flicker of light against the encroaching shadows. I didn't know how I knew this, but in the depths of this endless night, it was the only truth that made sense. My only hope of escaping this living nightmare. The weight of responsibility pressed down on me. Lives hung in the balance, and the fate of this nightmare world rested on my shoulders. Section 4. Life or oblivion. The stakes couldn't be higher. Succeed, and I would wake to a life more incredible than I could imagine. Riches beyond measure awaited, a reward for facing the darkness and emerging victorious. But failure meant being consumed by this nightmare. To be devoured by the monstrous doctors, my screams swallowed by the endless night. Death, swift and absolute, awaited those who faltered. The choice was clear: be the hero or become another victim. Fight for every life, every breath, or succumb to the terror that threatened to consume me. The key to my freedom, to my very survival, lay in saving these people. But could I find the strength to do what needed to be done? Section 5. The hero's choice. Fear threatened to paralyze me. The monstrous doctors, the desperate pleas of the sick, the overwhelming darkness. It was all too much. Giving in, surrendering to the nightmare seemed easier than fighting. But something inside me, a flicker of defiance, refused to be extinguished. This nightmare, this endless night, wouldn't break me. I wouldn't let it. I had a choice to be a coward or a hero, to succumb to fear or rise to the challenge. And in that moment, I knew what I had to do. I would fight, I would heal, I would save them all, for their sake and for my own. Section 6. A glimmer in the dark. Hope, fragile but real, blossomed in my chest. This nightmare wasn't over, not yet. But with each life I saved, a glimmer of light pierced the darkness. The monstrous doctors, sensing their grip slipping, would become more desperate, more dangerous. But I wouldn't falter. I would stand against them, a shield for the helpless, a beacon of hope in the face of despair. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but I would not walk it alone. The echoes of those I saved would bolster my resolve, their strength fueling my own. This nightmare may have trapped me, but I would escape it. I would wake up, and I would bring the dawn with me.